This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. An agreement has been reached with the British Virgin Islands for reciprocal management of the charter industry. After months of discussions and negotiations between the U.S. Virgin Islands and BVI governments, Governor Albert Bryan Jr. announced BVI Premier Natalia Wheatley has agreed to a reciprocal regulatory program regarding charter boating in USVI and BVI waters. The newly adopted system will permit BVI vessels to enter USVI cruising waters, docks, and marinas after proper check-in. Likewise, the BVI will be permitting USVI-based licensed vessels to use BVI territorial waters for day charters and term charters, also after proper check-in and licensing. Governor Bryan Jr. says this reciprocal relationship restores friendly boating and use of each territory's picturesque waters. Reciprocal arrangements for entry of water taxis and charter boats to pick up and drop off passengers in USVI and BVI waters and docks is also in process right now. Here's more on the agreement from BVI Premier Wheatley.
We are now in the tourism season, and we recognize the importance of our marine industry. It is important to note that we are currently formulating new policies and amendments to existing legislation that will recognize transient vessels, modify fees, and provide greater ease of access while ensuring that the economic value of locally based charter operations is protected. We are also happy to facilitate easier access for our USVI neighbors with whom we enjoy a strong relationship, and then in return have agreed in principle to reciprocal applications for BVI boats trading into the USVI. This is an important step considering potential recent escalation of requirements that could have crippled traffic on both sides. I come to you today with an important announcement in regard to our tourism sector. In an effort to provide a more efficient and streamlined experience for our incoming guests, effective the 15th of November, we have taken the decision not to require BVI trade licenses from foreign-based commercial recreational vessels conducting day or term charters or water taxis. Work permits will not be required for the crew working on these vessels. We will continue to promote the BVI-based business and develop incentives and advantages for those so committed.
And Governor Bryan says this agreement on new requirements for chartering in both waters will benefit the economies of both the BVI and the USVI. A heads up for parents and their kids, the Midre Cummings Park is closed again because of flooding. The Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation wants to let the public know that continued rain has caused additional flooding to the Midre Cummings Park and playground. Unfortunately, they have to close the park once again because of all that rain and flooding. The staff is working diligently to fix it, and the park will reopen on Monday, November 21st. About half of the U.S. has high or very high respiratory illness activity right now amid early flu season. That's according to data from the CDC. Surges in respiratory viruses like RSV and flu are overwhelming children's hospitals and prompting concern among many parents. Here in the USVI, there are currently 7 people hospitalized with RSV, so local health leaders offered this information on how to keep you and your family safe.
Typically, RSV affects children under 2 years, but can also affect adults. This virus usually has mild symptoms, including fever, cough, and runny nose. RSV is a public health concern because it can lead to pneumonia or bronchitis, requiring hospitalization, or cause severe complications for people with weakened immune systems. Nationally, the number of RSV cases being reported is high, and pediatric hospitalizations are significantly increasing. Both VI hospitals report hospitalizations for RSV, with currently 6 admissions at Schneider Regional Medical Center and 1 admission at Juan F. Louis Medical Center. It is important to note that COVID-19, influenza, and RSV all have similar symptoms, and it is possible to become infected with more than one of these respiratory illnesses at the same time. When co-infections occur, the outcome can be more severe. Today, there is no vaccine for RSV, but there are effective vaccines for both COVID-19 and influenza. That is why the VIDOH recommends everyone, especially children ages 6 months and older, get vaccinated against influenza and COVID-19. The Department of Health asks everyone to conduct respiratory hygiene with frequent hand washing, coughing into elbows or tissue, and staying at home while sick.
All good advice. And with cases on the rise here in the VI and nationwide, here's more on the warning signs of serious respiratory illness and when you should seek medical care.
Across the U.S., some hospitals are filling up as respiratory illnesses continue to spread.
But we are seeing high levels of RSV certainly, and our influenza levels are starting to increase.
While most kids who get sick this season will recover quickly with at-home care, some young children may need extra care. Mayo Clinic pediatrician Dr. Angela Matkey says whether medical attention is needed depends on 3 things. First, how your child is breathing.
Are they breathing faster, more shallow, or are they working harder to breathe?
If there are any breathing troubles, seek medical care right away. Matkey says to give your sick child medications to reduce fever, which kind will depend on the age of your baby. And she says children who are more comfortable will drink more, which is key to keeping them hydrated.
They might not nurse as much, they might not take as much via bottle when they're sick, but they need to make at least 3 wet diapers in 24 hours.
And finally, Matkey says to pay attention to your child's energy level. If the child is difficult to arouse, seek medical attention right away. When it comes to flu, she says there's one thing we can control.
So I would strongly encourage parents to, if they haven't already gotten their child's influenza vaccine this year, to get it scheduled as soon as possible.
And Dr. Matkey also says it's important for adults who are around young children to get vaccinated for flu to help protect children who are too young to get the vaccine and those who are not eligible. And as we begin a new week, COVID-19 case counts remain steady and have actually decreased since the end of last week. According to the latest numbers from the Virgin Islands Department of Health, there are currently 47 active COVID cases territory-wide, with 35 on St. Croix, 12 active cases on St. Thomas, and still no active cases reported on St. John. From health to consumer news today, the holidays are almost here, which means kids are writing up those wish lists. And this year, the most coveted gifts feature favorite characters and a little magic. Naomi Ruckham takes a look.
The new Pokemon Squishmallow is one of the year's hottest toys.
If you don't get it now, you might not get it? Correct, yeah. These are going to be sold out very, very quickly. They're only available in limited quantities.
The Toy Insider's Marissa Silva says the latest toy from Magic Mixies will also be popular.
The brand new crystal ball for this year, and we are getting ready to conjure our Mixie friend.
Kids use a magic wand to reveal their own character.
About as interactive as it can get. Yeah, for sure. And what I love most about this, you can reset it and do this magic experience over and over again.
Many toys have an educational twist, like the Cocomelon Learning Bus.
So when you pop it in here, the bus will recognize which letter. So it'll say A.
But if you want to go big,
some really cool 360 spins.
There's the remote-controlled Jurassic World T-Rex.
He's got some great sound effects, too. Yeah.
Dolls are in demand, like these from the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie. And LOL Surprise has customizable dolls with 320 mix-and-match looks.
The shades, the earrings, the dress, the hairstyles, you can really do lots of different things with these dolls.
But no matter what your kids' hearts desire, be ready to spend more.
Inflation is hitting the toy box for sure. We're really recommending that people build about 15% more into their toy shopping budgets this year.
Unlike the past 2 years, toy companies expect to have plenty of supply. Still, you may want to snag the most popular items before they disappear.
I think my nephews would like that big T-Rex, maybe not my sister and brother so much though. While some of the hottest toys can run as much as $300, there are plenty of high-value toys available for $20 or less as well.